You ready?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Welcome back to Wise Up, episode 12. We're recording here on Friday, February 9th, and we are on the precipice of celebrating a top 10 holiday on the calendar.
Absolutely. It's got to be top 10.
That's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
We had a pretty cool feature in the paper from yesterday that kind of celebrated Valentine's Day in a local couple.
No, it's my favorite kind of, we've done similar stories before where, getting some love, relationship advice from people who, are experts, and it'd be hard to find better experts in a great relationship than Gary and Linda Washburn, who have been married for 62 years, going on 63 years. And they were so sweet, such a sweet couple. And you can tell they still genuinely are in love.
Yeah.
For as cynical as I get about Valentine's Day and the commercial aspects of it, big candies, pulling the strings on our society. Just kidding. It's a great time to really sit down and, share why you love someone like your partner or spouse or wife, why they're so special to you. And I think the key to, folks like Gary and Linda is they don't just wait for one day to do that. They kind of live it out. But no, it's so sweet talking, or that story was so sweet. Jillian did a great job with it. And it was cool seeing them come in for some photos too.
It was super refreshing, like you said, and, talking about kind of the foundations of their relationship that they've kept since day one. And there's a quote in there about how, what's the point in fighting and arguing? It's such a waste of time. You just kind of apologize and move on. It's not like you meant to hurt, the other person's feelings.
No,
so
it's the point.
But yeah, super sweet couple. They're awesome. And just from Facebook comments and stuff, a very loved couple around the county, which is always good to, celebrate someone that is, loved by many and, get to get them in the paper. So super
Absolutely.
Cool.
I think, do you have any relationship advice that you'd like to share? Anything that you would not do?
That I would not do. I'm going to pass on this. I'm going to let the married guy.
We didn't discuss this before.
I'm going to let the married guy talk about Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Valentine's Day. Mine usually ends up at a grocery store, purchasing flowers on the way home from work.
Classic move.
Yeah.
I think that's a reasonable expectation that, wives probably set at this point. So
yeah, I have set a low bar. But I do kind of enjoy hanging out with my brothers at the grocery store who are also looking at the flowers with confused faces going,
everyone trying to fight the good fight on the same day at 6:30 p.m.
Do I get one? Do I get an arrangement? Do they tulips?
Is a single rose okay?
What's a tulip?
It also sounds like, a high bar was set for you, though, receiving gifts. Heard your mom got you some pretty gnarly gifts.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like. We need better definitions on Valentine's Day gift giving and receiving, because my mom still gets me Valentine's Day presents, and I need to get her a Valentine's Day present for sure.
There needs to be a rubric.
Yeah.
Letter of the law.
Give me a map.
Yeah.
No, what she got me sunglasses, nice ones. And I don't know. It's I got her card, I think, afterwards.
Yeah. Or my dad will get me a card to sign for my mom. Yeah. That's even at the age of 24, that will probably still happen. But
gift giving is not one of my love languages. But I'm married to one as well, who that's what she loves to do, is give gifts. And it's tough I'm in a losing battle. It's give me something really heartfelt and thoughtful. And I'm
here's a firm handshake.
Here's these flowers I got at Kroger. But yeah, I don't know. Let's check around. I think, I don't know if you had any plan. I don't know. You want to turn this into a dating podcast. Are you going to be buying for mom at least?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be buying for mom. That's going to be it. I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
But we do have some special people around the county. One of our coworkers, you're familiar with him, Micah McCartney, who is married and has a lovely wife. And I think we're going to give him a call and see kind of his plans for Valentine's Day and maybe some relationship advice or gift giving advice.
All right.
So we're about to bring him on the line live.
Hello?
Hey, Micah. This is Austin, the Wise County Messenger.
It's Micah with the Wise County Messenger. Hi.
Hi there. We were discussing Valentine's Day and wanted to hear what you had in mind. What are your plans?
It's a little tough this year. We kind of already celebrated a little bit, and then Tiffany's going to get gifts on Valentine's Day that we've already kind of have planned. But it's kind of simple this year, just a little low key, but still good. She can get.
Spoiler alert! Tell Tiffany not to watch the podcast.
No, she already knows.
Okay.
Hazel has a candy apple company now. It's by the old Stardust skating rink. Brendan will know Stardust.
Rest in peace.
It's pretty good. I think she got a strawberry cheesecake candied apple and then a Snickers candy apple.
All right.
So, sounds pretty good. So
sounds like a good plan, man. Way to think ahead. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Try to plan out,
Yeah. I think that's the key.
So,
Being intentional. Yeah. Well, good luck, man. Appreciate your insight there. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
And that was the first appearance Micah will make on this podcast. Stay tuned for the Micah Minute. The other season, we are in the midst of heavy in, and we'll continue
Bottom
to be
10
in
holiday.
election season. We got the March Republican primary coming up here soon, and that is just the beginning of it.
It's like we're just kind of easing in. I'm kind of tired of it already.
Yeah.
But I do I think a lot of people have become a little, annoyed almost with the ads and stuff that are, you can't escape them, especially your mailboxes. We pulled a few choice ones that we think are kind of funny, or just a small sampling of, probably what you've already seen in your mailbox. But
I'm going to say,
I think there's an art to it. I kind of appreciate them at a different level. It's they're funny.
Yeah. Unintentionally, but they are for sure.
Do you want your tax dollars going to celebrate Muslim holidays?
Do you?
I don't know. That's a good question. And then we got, just the kind of boilerplate, protecting the border. That's always
this one, and then
always a
obviously,
go-to.
Rest in peace, the American dream. We all know it's done for.
Sorry. Ended it, I guess, in 2023.
And then I think maybe a newsroom favorite here is our esteemed president here.
Right. It's so funny. And it's so cool because it's interactive. It's you open it up and it tells a story. We haven't broken the seal on that one yet, but I'm sure it's great. But yeah, there's some real art. We should get in the ad agency grind or political whatever. I don't know. A lot of people are sitting down and that's what they're doing at work.
That's crazy to me. It's got to be fun though, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're not, if you can separate, your personal life from your job and you just get to kind of blow into work and make a crazy mailer like that. I would love that if I had the skills.
Yeah. Man, I wonder if Joe's ever been a bellhop at a hotel. It's so funny.
Yes, it's a real photo.
But I think some people are frustrated, but Jennifer Kozlowski, who works in our advertising department, has really turned this into a hilarious art project. She's collecting each and adding each new ad, basically, I guess, of her favorite ones into what's it, a diorama?
Yeah. She's got them on it's on skewers, popsicle sticks stuck into floral foam, and this big display, and she's really organized it pretty well.
And she keeps adding to it.
Yeah, it's only growing.
Yeah,
and it will continue to grow.
I think she's gonna have to get a lot more of that foam.
Yeah,
because maybe soon here
it's gonna take over an entire desk one of these days.
Yeah, I think she just got to keep rolling with it. But we'll show a picture of that on the video.
Yeah.
It's better than a show than a tell situation. But yeah, man, a lot of money's going into these ads, and that's something that we've been kind of covering the last few weeks. And I think the most recent campaign finance report, just for the House District 64 race, it's been $700,000 of campaign contributions. But yeah, it's a lot of money. going to these races.
Yeah, and Brian Knox, he did a real great story. He's had, the one about the sheriff's race a couple weeks ago, and then HD 64 race in this past paper. Really interesting, like to see who's donating to these candidates, and then or like who is part of these packs, and just kind of like the string that you can follow,
Right.
and like try to find a common thread between donors. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Whether you dislike or like the person, I think it's pretty engaging content if you want to really get into the numbers of campaign finance, if you're that type of person. But
I don't know. Like, would America be better without any packs? Maybe. I don't know. Like,
it does give us good news stories.
Yeah, well, it's cool because it's like who is supporting these? Who are the people? Like, you always hear about the swamp,
right?
Like draining the swamp or whatever. That's the money in politics. But
I'm gonna jump to maybe a little bit more lighter note here.
I don't know. What about Sharia law?
We're going to skip out on Sharia law this week and jump to Super Bowl. No, I don't think anyone from Wise County is playing in the Super Bowl this year. We have had
Colin Jones.
Yeah, Colin Jones in 2015 with the Panthers, Bridgeport grad. I didn't do the digging. I don't think any Wise County athletes are playing this year.
I'm fairly confident that are.
But I don't know. It's another, it's the end of the football season, and kind of.
Yeah, it's always tough as a football fan.
Especially, I think it was 2 years ago. It was Super Bowl on a Sunday and then Valentine's Day on the following Monday. And that was like maybe the two worst days of my life. Yeah. Just watching football end and then this holiday roll around. But
yeah, it's like I was depressed about the Cowboys for a while. Yeah. And then it's like, I don't really care who wins. I don't really want to see the 49ers win. But then I go like, oh, this is my last chance to watch a football game.
Right.
Like a good one for a long time.
It's the classic deal of, like you said, Cowboys have an early exit and I'm done. Like, I'm disgusted. I can't watch this anymore. And then you take maybe a week off and you're like, kind of seeing what's going on in the playoffs here. So, yeah, I mean, I might be ordering the new Chili's triple dipper party platter.
Chili's could be a sponsor of this podcast.
Reach out to us.
What's all on that thing?
I think Southwestern egg rolls, some Big Mouth bites.
Seemed really excited about it when you were telling me about it earlier.
It feeds 8, which means it feeds 4.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's 4 meals for you.
Yeah, 4 meals for me. I might have a review on it next week.
Okay.
If I can finish it.
All right. Well, good deal. No, I think a lot of people are probably going to be having parties and getting together to watch the game. I still think Monday should be a national holiday. Yeah. Monday after Super Bowl. Think about it, Joe.
Yeah, come on, Joe.
Or whoever can get that through. But I'm sure Monday we're talking about our favorite ads, going through the routine. Can't believe they did that at the halftime show.
My take is if you throw a Super Bowl party, you're not a real football fan. Because
you're not watching the game.
Exactly. I don't want to hear about the commercials. And now we're having
that's what
previews for the commercials that are going to show.
The parties. So what happens is people will talk during the game and then they'll be like focused up on the ads.
Exactly.
Yeah. We are anti Super Bowl party podcast.
And that's why I say rest in peace, the American dream. Because of that right there.
Yeah, we got 2 callbacks. Oh, man. But cool. So we are going to debut a new segment, something exciting. We'll see if it sticks. But we, as you may know, we listen to Phone Reporter each week. We'll listen to the police radio, we call it the scanner. And I think, pull some interesting tidbits from that. We had some interesting calls.
Yeah, so
the other night,
some stuff obviously like the hard news coverage, like the wrecks or the fires. Those typically make the paper. You saw we had a couple wrecks, and we had that apartment building on Sweetie Pies that made the paper, and some really strong art on that one. But there's a lot of stuff that it gets toned out, and it's either kind of a nothing situation or like some miscommunication, and some of them end up being funny or just like weird.
I thought we were getting some big news out of the Baymont Hotel.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say it was the Baymont. I don't think it was actually the Baymont.
I'm sorry.
I think
Baymont Hotel.
That was a hotel. A hotel in Wise County. So I was about to leave the office last night. I'm not actually on scanner duty right now. It's Brian Knox, and but I was in the office, left something here, and I was walking out the door, and I heard a call out to some hotel in Wise County that said it was not the Baymont. It was not the Baymont. There was a guy that was trying to check into the hotel with two visibly, this is from the dispatcher, two visibly dead bodies in his van. And so, like, obviously, like that's a huge, like, crazy news story.
Yeah.
You know, I love the, like, idea of, like, going out to a scene like that and breaking news. But then whenever the thought crossed my mind of, I might have to do this, I was like, I don't want to be the guy. Like, I don't want to be the guy to roll up.
Brian.
Yeah. So that's why I texted you, and I was like, hey, man, this is going on. Hung around the office and tried to listen some more. And it was like the communication on it just kind of cut out. And so I was left wondering what was going on. So I took a little trip over to the Baymont, and there were police and fire out there, but it was a minor accident in front of the hotel. Unrelated to the visibly dead body situation.
Did call Chief Campbell. Are we sure it's in Decatur?
It was on the Decatur PD channel. So
good.
Know that.
So called Chief Campbell earlier before doing this podcast to make sure. Yeah, confirmed no like double homicide murder situation at all.
Not even tampering with a corpse.
Like maybe mortician, or may not have even exist. That happens. Sometimes people are imbalanced and call stuff in to dispatchers, and they still have to tone it out. It's to treat it seriously, even if they are having a psychotic break.
But also, like, I was trying to get in the mind of, you know, the lady who called it in. Like, if you're working the front desk of a hotel, like,
yeah,
by
I'm
yourself,
not saying that situation
but
at
like,
all.
you know, it's dark outside, and you think you see something, like, yeah, man, like, I definitely would have done the same thing. So
yeah,
that was shocking to hear, to say the least.
That's why it's important to, you know, we can't just like share everything we hear over the radio. We have to like confirm that and get official information, because sometimes, you know, what gets called in is not necessarily what's happening, or, you know, needs more context. So, but yeah, too bad or good that there's
good. I would
definitely
say
good
that didn't happen.
Good that didn't happen. Would have been an interesting story though.
Glad I didn't have to write it.
Yeah.
We also had, I didn't even think of this until just now. It wasn't on our scanner. It happened just south of the Wise County line in Briar, at the Briar Beer and Tobacco convenience store or whatever. Tarrant County Sheriff's Office was out there executing a search warrant for our friends at the Tri-County Reporter. They put a little write-up on this yesterday, but really some gambling allegations. So I drove down to Briar, and there's some people hanging outside the Briar Beer and Tobacco looking at me kind of weird when I pulled out a huge camera to take a photo of them. So peeled out of there pretty fast. Awkward. But yeah, some interesting scanner and non-scanner stories from this week.
Do you know what the Only in Wise was?
Only in Wise. I think it was a guy was like assaulting women and then got taken to the hospital and was cursing at. We're gonna cut this out. I don't know how to pivot from here.
Yeah. Where do we go from here?
Let's take it to your favorite segment. Forget that we talked about Crime Report and Only in Wise. Yeah. We're going to kick it to the Micah Minute.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Micah Minute. Congratulations to Coach David Park, Thea Woodruff, and Christian Dane for being inducted into Decatur ISD Wall of Athletic Fame. Congratulations to Decatur, Paradise, Bridgeport, and Slidell for making the playoffs in girls basketball. Decatur versus Wichita Falls, 7:30 p.m. Monday at Bowie. Paradise versus Village Tech Viper Squid, 6 p.m. Monday at Aledo. Slidell versus Throckmorton, 6 p.m. Monday in Archer City. Bridgeport needs to play a tiebreaker game for second place against Crum, 6 p.m. Friday at Eaton High School. If they win, they get Gainesville. If they lose, they'll get Sanger. Decatur Swim gets 9 athletes out to state in 15 events. Aaron Williamson, Johnny Allball, Logan Foltz, Blaze Pippin, Caleb McKee, Zoe Hall, Kinsey Hayes, Eliana Bridges, and Katie Martinez, as well as Boyd swimmer Libby Vaughn. They're going to be swimming in San Antonio, February 15th and 16th. Good luck to them. Also, good feature on Gazy Yates in this week's paper for Paradise Basketball. Thanks for listening to the Micah Minute.
Well, thank you, Micah, for that important sports update.
It's 6 weeks in a row now, if I'm not mistaken. So good job on you, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, would like to get you guys to subscribe to the Wise County Messenger once again. We did more than just love stories this week, unfortunately. And one thing is the last chapter, State of Wise 2024.
Part 4 in this series.
Yeah. Kind of kept that vague, like, maybe a part 5. You never know. No, we're done.
We're done. It's dead. We killed it.
But yeah, I think this one kind of was different. I wanted to do something on water, and there was like that this week, like a lot of significant stuff happened, and it's something that's been discussed in the Water Summit, as well as this 2023 regional water study that was basically commissioned, from Parker and Wise County through the Upper Trinity Groundwater Conservation District. That was presented by our guest that Friesen Nichols actually did the study. It's kind of complicated to how to broach all that, but the main point is that that was one of the solutions was kind of a regional approach and maybe a regional partnership between cities to form their own water district, and that is like happening like this week.
Yeah, so New Fairview already like passed a resolution. And
so it's Boyd, Aurora, Rome, and New Fairview that are all kind of joining hands to kind of go about get it off the ground to start looking to form their own regional water districts, which could allow them to eventually tap into a new water source, maybe from a lake, maybe from an existing lake, maybe from one that could be coming online. But yeah, if they can form this, they just have a lot more options to bring in different water sources than we currently have. Because right now it's groundwater and Lake Bridgeport, and then there's a couple other options as well. But
kind of lines up with Dreaming Up headlines for 2024.
Yeah.
Long-term water source found, and this
check it off the list.
This really did just like kind of pop up, and I think I don't know. Then we reach out to maybe some city leadership from these cities just a few months ago, and I was like, yeah, this is probably not happening. And then
it's like, well, is this going to be feasible? Like, how much money is this going to cost? But yeah, right now they're kind of it's like a $10,000 commitment from each one to, for now, just to hire a attorney that specializes in water law. That can you imagine?
Oh my gosh, I'm not smart enough to do that, or have the.
It's like the attorney of
power.
all attorneys, like the biggest.
Right. Final boss of attorneys.
Yeah. This is complete water nerd. Yeah. So they're pooling resources to hire that to kind of get them, because it's going to be like go through, a legislative process to get something like that formed. But yeah, I think the county's going to help out with that too once all the cities are on board. But definitely exciting water news, and we'll be following that for sure. That's a big story because, the population estimates, it was crazy. Like that study showed like 140,000 people by 2030.
And the 2080 was like, 435,000 or something like that. Who knows?
I'm a little skeptical of that, but
how can you predict 2080? Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, don't hold us to that. That was their study, not ours. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're growing and there's not enough water to support even, a moderate amount of growth.
Right.
So, a long-term water source solution is massive for Wise County. But yeah, some other things. We lost a legend in somebody that has been in the messenger before, Rufus Choate, one of the last surviving members of the Lost Battalion, has passed away. Now there's just one more survivor, I believe. Yeah,
Rufus, he was 101 years old. I think he was about a month out from his 102nd birthday. Was from the Abilene area, was part of the, 902 POWs that were part of the Lost Battalion, with about 500 of those hailing from North Texas. So kind of in that story that I wrote about his passing, referenced an interview that you had done with him from 2018, I believe, where he just, talked about how much that brotherhood of the Lost Battalion not only helped them survive the war, but acclimate to civilian life and, really carry on meaningful lives after the war was over. And, their legacy and their impact and just their heroic efforts, that's not going to be lost to the sands of time, because fortunately we do have that Lost Battalion Memorial Highway between here and Jacksboro. And, we still have one more. So Robert Hanley lives in Wyoming, Minnesota. he's still around. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's obviously sad, but it's great that we can do, kind of a tribute to these last couple guys.
Yeah, I think you made a good point just about how they kept, it wasn't just surviving when they were prisoners of war. They were there for each other throughout their whole adult lives. So definitely, sad to see that number dwindle. But it was crazy. I mean, how old was he?
He was 101.
101. So been through all that. Like these guys were some longevity despite all they've been through, which was insane.
Yeah. And even up till, 2018, whenever he was in his late 90s, I mean, was able to travel here to Decatur for Lost Battalion reunion and was up and moving around and shaking hands and stuff. So he seems to
willing to do an interview with a reporter who was just
on his legs. Yeah. But no, I don't know, seems to have lived a very full life and such a unique life too. So,
rest in peace, Rufus.
Rest in peace, Rufus Choate. And
kind of leads us in sort of with the Lost Battalion. The Wise County Heritage Museum, the demolition is almost completely you can go in it now.
Yeah, that ground floor, how much they've cleared out just in the last couple of weeks. It's
so
it's
seeing those
barren,
pictures.
it's just dirt now pretty much, which is pretty cool.
It's weird. You could kind of see through in the skyline all the way through. Make some interesting pictures. They found, they keep finding artifacts from the Lost Battalion room, but also one thing they found was a piece of a fire hose from the
actual fire,
the actual fire, which, it's that's going to be part of history.
Yeah, I think that's a cool thing they're doing where, when they do rebuild the museum, they are going to have an area dedicated to things that were salvaged from the fire, but aren't necessarily in historical artifact condition, but that is part of the story of the Heritage Museum, and that is part of the story of Wise County. So finding the piece of the fire hose that were actually used to fight that fire, they were presented to the Decatur Fire Department. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Nothing official has come down on what they can actually do, but sounds like what they want to do is use that first floor and kind of rebuild at that level. And they're kind of looking into, I think they agreed to, broach hiring an architect, or at least enter initial discussions for it. It sounds like, it could be people that are doing the courthouse too, which is Carl Komatsu.
Yeah.
So definitely that'll be an interesting thing to follow as well. Love to see, I wish I want some closure for him, honestly. And closure for people that, want there to be a home for our history in Wise County. So that's a big development.
I think maybe some final wrap up things. We've got some daddy-daughter dances coming up in Decatur and Bridgeport in the next week or two. Check news briefs in the Wise County Messenger. We are a newspaper. Check out our news briefs. And we also have a big event.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow morning coming to Aurora Baptist Church. We
were watching Newsmax just the other night. And now we're going to get...
Not seriously.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
I was activated.
Rudy Giuliani was up there.
Yeah, Rudy Giuliani was just freestyling for hours. And it was really interesting.
Those two 23-year-old interns that were trying to operate the camera.
Yeah, it was cool. But I think that might have been Newsmax 2.
That was Newsmax 2.
We were getting the authentic one, or the main one, which I guess Chris Salcedo.
Yeah, Chris Salcedo, which I think he was a former WBIP guy.
Yeah.
So
he's gonna be in Wise County.
Yeah, they're live streaming a congressional district 26 debate tomorrow morning at Aurora Baptist Church. So I think some people on Facebook have described it as a once in 2 decades event.
What does that mean?
I have no clue, but that is how it's been described by some people.
2 decades event.
I don't know what that means, but I mean, it's cool. That's the Newsmax, think what you will of it, but that they're going to Aurora, that's a pretty big deal in itself.
Absolutely. Plan to cover that. Plan to get some photos at least.
Yeah.
And that's a crowded race.
I think we have, I don't know how many hats we actually have in the ring, but there are at least 9 that I know of that have been in Wise County at a prior forum before. So yeah, and some kind of big names, and y'all have seen the signs around Wise County.
Yeah.
So yeah, should be good. And sounds like it's going to be a real debate, which should be interesting.
Yeah. This is probably a good chance to kind of see, more about them.
Yeah.
See you like, see you don't. Make your decision at the polls.
Yeah. An informed decision.
Yes. Be informed. Read the paper. Watch Newsmax.
Yeah. This is not an official Newsmax endorsement.
I am officially endorsing Newsmax too.
Austin is
between the hours of what was that, like 11 to
2.
2
Yeah,
a.m.
11 p.m. to 2 a.m. Watch Newsmax 2. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's wild out there. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, gonna go ahead and end on that Newsmax note.
What a podcast.
Yeah, if you want another extremely entertaining podcast like this one next week, then tune in to another episode of Wise Up. And thank you guys for joining us this week. Watch Newsmax.